Hello, and welcome to Module 1 of SPA 416 and 516. This is Dr. Marin. First of all, I'd like to start out with an explanation of the scientific method. The scientific method aims to better understand the world by accumulating a body of scientific knowledge. Observations are ways that we learn and know about the world. Observations can be categorized into different types. With one, observations must be objective, without the researcher's beliefs, biases, or emotions. Second, observations of events must be public, because science is a social enterprise and it should be open to scrutiny by all. Observations need to be repeatable. You should be able to replicate them. 4, observations should be confirmable. Nothing is assumed to be true until it is confirmed by independent investigation. An example of cause and effect would be if I say that my treatment of a lisp causes a reduction of the lisp using a spoon and saying, "Go back, tongue, go back." And you'd be right to ask, can anybody else do it? And you can even try to do it yourself. But if I say, nobody else can do it because they don't have my spoon or my intonation pattern, then you'd be able to call something on me. The scientific method is divided up into maintaining objectivity into 5 steps. The 5 steps begin with stating the problem, formulating the hypothesis, developing how you're going to do it through a method, looking at your data results, coding them, and then interpreting them. Research can be divided into different types by calling them basic or applied. Recently, we've had much more interest in clinical research because of accountability to third-party payers. Research can also be divided into laboratory research conducted on the premises and field research out in the schools or hospitals. Research can be also described as experimental, with random assignment of participants or matching 2 groups, but they are done in a limited way. Quasi-experimental research is much more common. No randomization, but you do have good control of the independent variables. Non-experimental research is done often to try and investigate intervention approaches for very small specific types of populations, such as children who are deaf with autism. Variables can be described as independent or dependent. The independent variables are the variables that will stand alone and aren't changed by the other variables you're trying to measure, while dependent variables are the focus of the experiment. Variables can be thought of as bivariate, with only one independent and dependent variable, or multivariate. Variables can be described as active or attribute variables. Variables are often categorized as continuous variables, like inches and what measures distance, age, IQ, or categorical variables, like age and gender, age groups and gender. Reliability helps is ensured to have researchers be able to repeat the results if they did it again. 2 means are described in the book: blinding, where the researcher and or the participants are unaware of what group or treatment they're receiving, and also inter-observer reliability. you want at least an 80% with 2 people describing and coding data sets. Validity is important. It affects the meaningful of the results, both internal validity and external validity. Internal validity, basically the meaningfulness of the results. External validity talks about how you can generalize the findings outside of your experiment. Page 18 of your book provides a very nice explanation of internal validity in our field. Threats to external validity include accessing populations and target populations, describing your independent variable clearly, and then reducing multiple treatment interference effects, taking into account a new treatment or disruption effects of perhaps having a recording camera in the room. We have experimenter effects, pre and post test, sensitization, and measurement of the dependent variable. If you don't describe the dependent variable accurately, you may limit your generalizability, I have trouble with that word, to clinic. This is the end of Chapter 1 slides. I hope that you thought it was useful and an addition to reading the text. Thank you.